Hello everyone and welcome to Club Reaction to St Mirren 1, Rangers 2 here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. An easy win, never in doubt, 3 points, and all of that is what I wish I was coming on here to say it and speak about, but it couldn't really be further from the truth. As Rangers put in, again, a pretty poor performance today, and ultimately we have been... None of the questions have really been answered. I don't think none of the performance that we expected from Rangers has really improved in any way, but we have managed to get to 3 points. I expected a little bit more in terms of performance today, but we've got the 3 points, and I suppose it could be a big 3 points. Who knows? Let's try and remain glass half full for some of this podcast anyway. I am Scott Carney. I'm on my own today, and I was having the fear about coming on here and it possibly being a defeat, because for a long period of that game, the game was level, and I'm not going to... I was thinking to myself, I have seen this movie before. I know what happens here. I know what's about to happen. It's never easy to come on and do a podcast like this on your own after a defeat, but we have managed to get there, and it's Dessers is the guy that's got himself to 20 goals for this season to make it 2-1 and for us to get out of Paisley with 3 points. But my God, a lot of that was torture to watch, absolutely brutal to watch. I think that's me being pretty generous about it. Before I go any further, just a quick plug to our live show. We are live at the Loudon Tavern, Friday the 31st of May 2024. Tickets are £10. There is still tickets available for it. You can scan the QR code that is on screen right now, get your tickets that way, and you can also go to the link that will be in the description for this podcast and you'll be able to get your tickets there. We very much hope to see you there. Ticket sales are going rather splendid, and we're hoping to get as many of you there as possible for our end of season show. Come share a beer with us, and I promise you we'll put on a better performance than Rangers did today against St Mirren. And quickly as well, as a side note, happy birthday to Haymarch Senior. He is his birthday today, so many happy returns to him. Starting 11 today: Butland, Tavernier, Balogun, Suter, Bonabarisic, Lundstrom, Diomande, Cantwell, Silva, Sterling and Dessers. Golson remained on the bench or dropped, whatever way you want to look at it, and Barisic came into left back, putting Sterling up the pitch onto the right wing, which is obviously something that Clement felt was required today to get Sterling a bit further forward. Don't think many of us were happy to see the start of Borna Barisic at left back, but I can understand why he would do so in order to get us up the pitch. The rest of the team, there's no great shock in it. This is pretty much what we have. I'm not surprised that he chose not to play Goldson again. I think Balogun probably merited a start after the way he performed on Sunday in the semi-final. But to the rest of it is what it is. It's all we have. There's not many more options that we do have. I do think, and Ryan and I kind of discussed it briefly beforehand, that McCausland's got a wee bit of a raw deal. The fact that Sterling's playing on the right-hand side ahead of him, I think Sterling's there for physicality-wise, I get that, but ultimately he isn't a right winger. And McCausland, I think, could be an option. He could be an option. I think he draws players out. I think he gets involved in the game. I think he's dangerous. I think he gives players something to think about. But the manager chose to go with Sterling on the right-hand side. I do think Sterling has to play further up the pitch. I don't think he's a left-back. I don't particularly like him at left-back. Very much the middle of the pitch, I think, is where we would all be hoping that we see him, but based again with the options that we have available, it's the decision that the manager decided with. And in the game itself, Tavernier did his best to give St Mirren a goal within the first minute. That's happened so many times in the past few games where we've gave a team a chance really early on and make a great save. It did. Tav was, I don't know what he was thinking, just lackadaisical on the ball, and ultimately led to a chance for St Mirren, but it was a good save from Butland. But I think Butland would have been having a few choice words with Tavernier after that, especially so early on in the game. From then on in, Rangers didn't really settle for a while. I thought St Mirren were looking to press Rangers high up the pitch. Our defence looked so shaky when we are pressed high up the pitch. We don't really know how to deal with it. Be it whoever it may be that's in the defence, I think there's real problems across that back line. And when St Mirren have been up the pitch, we were kind of getting pinned in and we were not letting ourselves with much options, and we did look a bit fragile at the back. I think we looked fragile the entire game, to be honest. I don't think the confidence looks like it's going through this team at pace. I think there's a lot of them really struggling to take risks, to do that wee bit extra, to show that spark. It's a lot of it's very safe. A lot of it's very, we'll do the safe ball and we'll not take the risk and we'll go through the motions and we'll hope that something happens eventually. And it's kind of the way it felt for the start of that half. Rangers did start to grow into the game, I felt. I thought we grew into start controlling possession a wee bit better, and we did take the lead through that. It was a short corner on the right hand side. Campbell to Barisic. Barisic with a deep cross. The keeper makes a bit of a mess of it. He kind of gets caught under it or misreads it, and all he does is palm it on to Diomande at the back post, who hasn't gave up his run. Absolute every bit of credit for this goal goes to Diomande. He heads it back across goal and it's turned into the net to make it 1-0. Again, was a bit of a subdued celebration because we were all a bit confused about what had happened. But an own goal is what it resulted in, and it was us that took the lead. And against the run of play, some might argue I thought Rangers were the better team at the time of when we scored, but it was a wee bit of a sigh of relief for me where I thought, right, okay, but then immediately you're starting to think to the back of your head, well, I don't want them to take the foot off the gas now. I want them to gain confidence from this. And 5 minutes later, it was one each. Balogun was gave praise for last week, and rightly so. Rightly so. Here, he covers himself in no glory at all. The ball is a simple cross into the box. Balogun completely loses his man, doesn't know where he is, and when the time he finds out where his man is, all Mandarin had to do is give him a little nudge, bullies him quite easily off the ball. It's a fantastic header, don't take anything away from the finish. It hits off the bottom of the post and goes into the net. Butland really got no chance to get across to get there, and it's one each. And all I felt was we've done the hard part in terms of getting ourselves in the lead, but it did seem immediately we just resulted back to the norm. The first half of football is, even into the second half as well before we come to that, but the first half of football was us again struggling against a team that want to work hard. If the team want to work hard and put their effort in against us, we struggle to cope with that. We're a better footballing team. We've got better players than St Mirren. I'm not being disrespectful. It is just fact. That is just fact. Ultimately, we just look like we can't deal with a team trying to put pressure on us. We can't deal with a team that want to work hard. And it's getting a bit boring now. It really is. It's getting a bit boring. Rangers are torture to watch when we're like that. None of what we were doing well against against Hearts last week happened this week. None of it at all. Again, a lot of people say it's the pitch where we're playing. Yeah, I do understand that, but you need to adapt. Everybody adapts to the way you're going to play football. And Rangers didn't do that. That first half was awful. It really was. It was terrible. And Butland was called into action right at the end of the half as well. Again, the ball into the box, headed back into the kind of centre of the box by some one player. There's one player standing there on his own, because why wouldn't he be standing there on his own? And I think he thought he's turned it away. Butland's actually going the other way, manages to stick a hand out and save it and tip it over the bar. It's a real top draw save, it really is, from Butland, and thank goodness he is our keeper, because he kept it level going into the half. At half time, you're looking at the bench and you're going, there's not really a great option for us. There's not really a great option for us to really make a difference, for somebody that's going to come on and immediately make a difference into the game. Into the second half, we made no changes, and we also made no change of how we approached the game. We just back to this lacklustre, half-arsed, kind of checked out look that we have. No period of play that were really adding up. Nothing was really happening for Rangers at all, and I thought we were poor. Really thought we were poor over the pitch, and you could start to feel it. You could feel it building within the crowd. You could feel it building on Twitter. You could feel it building on in our chat as well. That we start to get the feeling that you've seen this movie before. You start to think to yourself, we are doing our best here to let St Mirren into this game and to give them the best opportunity they can to get more than a draw out of the game. Though, as I say, it didn't take long for a change to make. Silver come on and McCausland came on 55 minutes. I don't think there's any doubt, and I don't think there's any Rangers fan really out there, that if we had better options, that Silver would be on the bench at least. We don't have options just now. That's the thing. That is why he's playing. If it was me, I would send him back to Wolves as quickly as possible. He does not have it. He's not got what we need. He's not got the mentality that we need for a Rangers player. He was poor today again, really, really poor today again, and you can see that there's really no competition for his place, because he's not really lifting his game. He's not lifting his game. His performances have not been good at all, and it's a follow-on from his mess that he made of the third chance, the chance to make it 3-0 even. in the semi-final. He was very bad today, very, very bad. But we were, say, poor at the second half, no periods of play. Gogic was bossing the full game, never mind just the kind of back for St Mirren. He was kind of everywhere, and it was just I kept thinking this is just becoming a form of torture just now, because you are the bit in the back of your brains going, they'll get their chance, and when we get ours, if we get ours, will we take ours? But into it, this year, it was looking highly unlikely for me. I was beginning to kind of lose the belief that we are going to get the goal, and kind of out of nowhere we did manage to take the lead. It was Dessers that makes it 2-1. Tav's cross was a really good one, to be fair to Tavernier. It was a great cross. The St Mirren defender kind of trips and loses his footing, and he takes the St Mirren keeper out at the same time, and Dessers is there to nod home a kind of tap in with his head. It was as simple as you like for him, and we did manage to make it 2-1. And the words that came out of my mouth were, "Don't F this up, Rangers." I was like, please don't. You've got yourself ahead again. Don't do what you've done in the first half and just shut off, because we probably didn't deserve it. I don't think the half was particularly a good game of football. It didn't really like there was any great changes. The manager wasn't getting a response from the players, but it's Dessers, it's the guy that's there to turn the ball home, to make it 20 for him for the season. As I said before, Jamie's man. Jamie will be absolutely delighted as he sips on a super book while he's in Portugal. So again, 20 goals for Dessers. You can love him, you can hate him. It's still a decent return as a striker. I don't think it's a good return. I think it's a decent return. But he's the guy that's there to make it 2-1, and you've got to give him credit where it's due. Lawrence comes on for Cantwell as well, and Wright comes on for Barisic, which moves Sterling to left back. The Cantwell today was okay in spells. I thought he was decent in spells. No real great end product coming from him, but I don't think the midfield did any justice to themselves. I don't really think the team overall did any great justice to themselves today. But Cantwell was okay. There was in a bizarre incident where Butland is booked. I'm only presuming Walsh has booked him because Butland was having such a good game that he didn't want to give him a 10, so he has to get a 9.9 for getting booked. Butland comes out and clears the ball, and the St Mirren player runs into him. That's not a free kick, and it isn't a booking. He's got it completely wrong there. Absolutely completely wrong. Nothing comes of it. As I say, and Rangers have won the game, and I always say that I'll call out poor refereeing when I see it. This is a terrible decision. It really is. It's not a free kick. Never mind a booking. It's just not a free kick. A terrible decision, a decent opportunity, a decent area for St Mirren to have a free kick, but it's poor. And what I said to the boys in the group chat is, if that's going to be rewarded as a free kick and a booking, in the first half, Gogic stands his ground when Silva turns him in the box, and Silva runs into him and goes down. By the laws of that Walsh has applied to the Butland incident and booked him and gave St Mirren a free kick, then it's a booking and it's a penalty for Rangers. I'm just saying, it's the consistency in the decisions that constantly are under question in this country with the terms of the Scottish refereeing, and that's another perfect example of it. Completely wrong decision, but nothing came of it. Lawrence should have finished the game off then at that point. A breakaway did really well. Dessers did really well to get the ball to him. Lawrence got himself into the box. He turns the defender, and he's looking to just pass it into the bottom of the net. He turned the defender as well as taking the goalkeeper kind of out of play. Just had to pass it into the bottom corner. He tried to do so. Gogic was coming back, and fair play to Gogic here. It's an outstanding effort for him to get back and for it to come off his heel and go out for a corner. There's no getting away that Lawrence has to score there. It will go down as a sitter, but you have to give credit where it's due in terms of defending. The effort that Gogic showed there to get back was incredible, and I actually thought he was great for St Mirren that whole game. I thought if only our players looked like they gave as much care to their game and their performance and the effort that he wants to give for his team, if only a few of our players would take note of that, I think that would be quite good for the remainder of the season to see that, because he laid everything on the line out there. He really did, and he kind of ran himself into the ground, and there is no way we should be sitting thinking that a guy of the stature of Gogic, of the quality of Gogic and what he is and the stage that he's at in his career, that he was bossing our Rangers players about today. He really was. That for me tells its own story. It really does tell its own story. Ballagher then makes a tremendous tackle in the box to stop a pretty guaranteed goal scoring opportunity for St Mirren, and we were trying to see out the last 6 minutes added on time, and obviously the obligatory last minute corner that we have to defend one of them when we're holding on to a slender lead in a game. Happens, a bit of a heart in the mouth moment where it falls to a St Mirren player in the box. But it's cleared, and then Butland collects the returning cross that comes into the box, and we get out of Paisley with a 2-1 win. Today was poor. Let's not get by this. I'm not going to try and sit here and try and tell you anything different. You are well aware of how the team played today. I'm not going to try and act like the club at 22, the club at 22 loyal are thinking any different than me. But we got the 3 points. I didn't think it was going to happen today. Honestly, and halfway through that second half, I was going, there's no chance of this happening today. It just didn't feel like it. And it's just a continuation of the kind of last two league games that we've had. I probably could have said, hello, everyone, welcome to Club Reaction to Ross County v Rangers or Dundee v Rangers. Oh, no, sorry, it's actually St Mirren v Rangers, because it's very much the same. We will get caught out if we continue to play like that. We have done previously. We're not really looking like we believe that we're title challengers. It's like that's kind of breeding into the crowd as well, because there's a lot of fans that are going. There's some fans that will stay glass half full. There's some that are very much glass half empty, and I can't really blame them sometimes. I try and always be, you know that, I always try and be kind of glass half full guy. But performances like that, they are a concern. They are a concern because I'm not really seeing any great improvement. Look, I know our injuries are shocking. I know we're down on personnel, and I know we've not got any real options to go with. But there has to be more heart. There has to be more desire shown. There just has to be. If you genuinely believe that, you have to look like you want to up the intensity of this game. You have to want to take responsibility for what you're doing and what's happening in the game and make the difference, or at least try and make the difference. Make it look like you're trying to make the difference even, because too many of them just now are not, and it's too many that are going through the motions. Ultimately, it is 3 points. That is 3 points, and I will be like, okay, it is 3 points, and obviously there's now a game happening in about 10 minutes from time of recording that we'll probably all be paying quite a close eye on. But I don't like having to think, what are they going to do? We should be putting in better performances to put even more pressure onto them. So they know that they can't mess up. But that today, if any of them watch that, they're going, they're not exactly firing on full cylinders, Rangers, are they? And no, we are not. We are not. But it's 3 points, a hard fought 3 points. I think that's the footballing term, or the cliche that got put around by it. But we must improve, and we must improve quick. That is for absolute sure. Man of the match today, Jack Butland, all day long. Where would we be without him? Generally, where would we be without him? And it's the Player of the Year awards tonight, and it will be Butland that gets it. There's absolutely zero doubt about that. So yeah, for me, Jack Butland. We will be back later in the week with Club Deck Corner. I'll have a few more of the boys on, and we'll discuss a wee bit more about this and what we think of the remainder of the season to come. So until then, enjoy the rest of your weekend. At least Rangers didn't completely ruin your Sunday. 3 points is always better than one, is it not? But I fully agree that the performance was not really what we were all hoping for. Speak to you again later in the week. If you could subscribe to the channel, like the video, all the usual stuff. And also, as I said, buy a ticket for the live show. That would be very much appreciated. We hope to see you all there. I have been Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, and I'll speak to you midweek. Cheers, everybody.